Hello friends, you're with Lonesome Gamer, and I'm still playing BIOS Origins. Well, the game is dragging quite a bit, let's be honest about that. And especially for you who are watching, I could imagine that this is not too interesting. For me it's okay, but you know, it's not exactly a very exciting game or so. I mean, the bidding on these and doing all these actions and stuff. I don't know. I hoped we could have seen a little more interesting things here on the map. A little more dynamic, a closer game, you know, not one person running away with it or something. But it seems right now that this is not the case, although honestly I'm not totally sure about that. There might be ways to actually stop him. There are sometimes specific crises in the last epoch, or there might be a tyranny that forces him to change the ruling class, and he's going to lose then a lot of ideas, for example. These kind of things are possible. Also, sometimes diseases happen that could destroy half of the cities. The problem is, though, that he can actually rebuild 3 cities in a single turn. So even if he would lose now 5, he could rebuild in the same turn 3. So he would be at 8. While the next person is right now at 3. So even if he would lose half his cities, it's actually not such a big deal for him. So I don't know. It's a very tough position for the other players. They might also consider to go in a more cultural area, so that the industry, the diversity is not scored, because it's going to be very hard to catch up here. But on the other hand, where do they want to catch up, right? Or where do they want to win? I mean, in politics, obviously, the guy is ahead. And even here he is, right? He's got the most mysticism. This is actually the only area where he's clearly advanced in technology. So it feels all pretty hopeless for the other players. So again we see trade. The black player has the option to trade with the white player. He's going to move along here, and it doesn't really matter that much anymore. He's now no longer blocked by the terrain. And that allows him then to catch up 1 space here in immunology. And the white player doesn't have any advantage of this, because, well, he's everywhere ahead or at the same space as black. The normal pawns here in his brain. And there's also no chaos. So the 3 options to get an advantage are all not there for white. So now we can do an elder action. You know what, I'm actually once again going back with this action. I'm deciding not to do that. This goes back here. Instead, I'm going to do an artisan action and bring I'll place a pawn here on the iron plowshare. And then, as an invent action, I can actually take these 2. They go back. And I can simply take that idea now. So So there's a eureka effect here. That doesn't affect me, but the other player will be affected. He's got to remove the cull here, or he's got to cull a technology 1. So this is gone, and that could hurt him a little bit because that was a technology that allowed him to build cities. And then it's this here, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I can't take it. I fulfill the requirement. I'm lucky here because I have a city down there where the gold is. So I have a meadow city. Iron ploughshare. Iron smelting was independently discovered in Nigeria's vanished Nok culture, which skipped the Bronze Age to combine iron, Stone Age tools, agriculture, and unique terracotta sculptures. The ploughshare caused a population explosion when introduced into Europe. Okay, so that allows us to get a 4th idea. So I can do a cultivate action now. If I start here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I want to go here. And so that was actually my spread action. Then I can trade, and I want to do that, exactly that. So now my thing goes up 1 space, my immunology. Then I have the option to trade a 2nd time. Now the question is, do I want to do that? I think so, yeah, why not? So yeah, we can bring it up to 4 now. Okay, nice. Now I guess what I want to do is I could either build a city, or I could increase my energy. Now that is kind of interesting. You know, I'm thinking about doing the latter. If I increase my energy, it goes to coal and steam, and that means I get 1 bonus non-energy advance. So the question is, where do I want to do that? I mean, often warfare is kind of cool, but I cannot go to war, so maybe it doesn't help me that much. You know what? I think I'm gonna go here with the aircraft. That gives me 2 additional points from ships to aircraft, and it might allow me maybe even go here to South America next turn. I'm not totally sure, but I think I can. Yeah, absolutely. So that's sweet. And as a last action, I can now build a city. I could cultivate. So I'm going to build a city here where this sorghum African rice is. There we go. Okay. So that was black's turn. And comes to yellow, or to orange. So the orange player finished his action with the pseudoscience, and that gives him a cultural ideology or idea from the law deck. So he takes the shifting agriculture, places it here, and that allows him finally to build cities again. He didn't have the action to build any cities, and now he can domesticate and cultivate, and that's definitely good. So here, so white did spread here, and he's gonna cultivate the rice millet. So builds a city right there, and after that we could place an artisan. Oops, that is a migrant. We want an artisan. Not sure where to place this guy though. Right now it's not too interesting. I basically need these to bid. I might actually place him here. And then I can build a I could build a city, I could prospect, but there's nowhere in reach where I could get any metal or luxuries or whatever. There is no place for me to prospect. This is all. There are a couple of beasts here. Well, actually not that much. I could here, and these two here. This is pretty much everywhere I can do, all I can do now. Then I can increase my energy, and I think I want to do that. So this goes up, and I also get an additional movement. I mean, I could go here to aluminium and plastics, and then I could try to attack some people. Got an attack action here, so maybe that's what I want to do. I'm gonna go up here by one space, and we see what happens. So now it's the green player, and he now challenges the gods. Obviously, that's what he does, no doubt here. Okay, again, that doesn't look like a super interesting card, at least not too dramatic for him. Actually, it's probably a card that might help him. So we see a forestation. So he can choose a desert to go away and turn into a forest. Possibly this one here. And so we find some oil here. The question is, there is actually no city except of my own in the forest. So where do I want to place that? I don't really know. I think I'm going to place it down here. Kind of block the luxury here, and well, we'll see. So then we have the Lisbon earthquake. So there is a catastrophe right here, I think. Is it here? It's not here. Now that is odd. Why isn't it here? It should, shouldn't it? Now that is more than strange. I don't know, maybe that is a misprint on the map. I mean, I don't know where else that should be. I've never heard of a Lisbon earthquake outside of Portugal. Lisbon earthquake. I mean, obviously that's in Portugal, right? So I think I'm just gonna imagine there's a misprint on the map here. So yeah, we're gonna kick the catastrophe over here. What happens if there's a climate shit on a catastrophe? It flips, and that should kind of represent the climatic changes in the area. I kind of have my doubts that an earthquake in Lisbon would change desert there to jungle, but hey. That's weird. Okay, so then we have this card here. I made a mistake. I was checking the rules again. This thing here, because of this this disaster here, the chit will not simply be flipped. It will be removed there, and the challenger now can place the chit with its backside somewhere else, and that is definitely more interesting. So he could destroy a desert city. The only question is which one. I think I'm going to destroy this one here. This goes back. Okay, so we have now here, yeah, exactly. Now everybody kind of, this is a very good card. So green definitely beats two of his elders. Black cannot beat. Orange wants to win that card because he needs the higher diversity. So he's actually willing to bid 3 elders. The question is white willing to bid 4? I think so. I think he will. So he basically takes this one here. Yeah, and these 2. And these 3. So they go all away. And this is now the Charter of Rights. This gives him a new foundation. As the first thing he can do propaganda, I think that's what it's called. This is this specific icon here. That allows him to move the philosophy track 1 space or not at all. So the question is, well, what's his goal? It's a very hard decision here to make, you know. I mean, on the one hand, it's probably the best idea to say we don't want the cities, or we don't want a slavery to be tolerated in this world, because then the green player has a very powerful tool, and that's not a good idea for me, because he's so far ahead in cities. You know, if you have a higher urbanization than someone else, you can enslave him, and that is very dangerous. Right now, that gives chaos, because we have this abolitionist ideas in the world. If we would change that and go, and that was my idea, more in a cultural direction, right? Then we might be able to kind of shut down the diversity scorings in the end, which is also a kind of a good thing, right? I mean, but still, I gotta feel I'm only at 2 in diversity. I'm really bad there, but still, I got a feeling that I don't want to do that. So maybe this thing simply stays where it is right now. It still gives me the option to move it away, or maybe someone to move it at some point. But right now, slavery stays kind of forbidden. So we get the Charter of Rights. The Magna Charta emerged from a tax revolt between the English king and his ruling nobles. It set a tradition that the people had rights that even the king was obliged to respect. So great, this is our second foundation here. And that gives us a constitution action that will allow us to shift foundations. So we could take a foundation, any foundation, and change its orientation and then place it on the new space. And that's especially kind of cool if you have a revolution going on and you want to try to take foundations with you, right? So for him, that could have been interesting. He's got 2 foundations here. He cannot use its actions. So he could, he could kind of bring them here if they would match, which they actually would. But yeah, he doesn't have that action, obviously. So this is it. And that gives him an additional diversity. But we continue now with this, with the move of it's still the turn of the green player, right? So green placed an artisan on the hoplite phalanx, and he might now get the chance to actually take that card, which also would give him a war action, and that is something that orange doesn't like at all. We might see a war going on in the near future. So I can spread before I go to war, or I got this spread action here. So let me see. I even have a war animal, as you can see here, so I could spread from this guy. The question is, who do I want to attack? Well, I think I might go here for now. I have a footprint of 6, so no problems there. After the spreading here, I have my invention action. So I can now take here the hoplite phalanx. The cull doesn't apply because I don't have a 1 technology anymore. Also, I'm clearly ahead of metallurgy 3, so no eureka effect here. Oh, a question that I missed. Do I have a metal city? And that might actually be don't know. I might not have that. No, these are all luxury cities. So lucky for the other players, I do not have that. This is interesting. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm gonna do something else there. Okay, instead I think I'm simply gonna take the wind power, place my artisan there, and then I can take it here. Requirement energy 4, that's not the issue at all. So let's see. Sails have used to propel ships since the navigation of the Nile in ancient Egypt. On land, the first known horizontal axis windmills were used to grind cereals. So that gives him negotiation and also the option to it allows him also to improve his maritime. He is not at 3 yet, and it will also give him the option to cultivate. So that's a good card too for him, especially because he's a little short in cards. He had to do some culling. Okay, so that was his invent action. And, well, he might still spread there. I don't see a reason why not, at least at the moment. He cannot build cities. He already has built. He has its full number of cities on the board. He can do a negotiation action though, and he clearly wants to do that. So basically he can simply go, for example, with this guy here, from here to a white city, negotiate. That allows him to get also here to aluminium and plastics. And the white player could also get some kind of advantage. And he's in a, basically the only thing he can do is he can increase his footprint to the short fallow farming. Okay, nice. And then I think what I want to do is I want to increase my maritime here. Now I have ships. So it's this guy here, and there's nothing he can basically do right now. He's in a pretty bad position. I think therefore, because it doesn't matter, he simply takes the card here, the Comet scoring card. That gives him a second Bellwether card, which might give him some power. Or some control at least. He might end up in a kingmaker position, although I don't think so, because green is just doing so great everywhere on the board. Okay, anyways, I want to do that. So what happens is all players suffer chaos. So again, pretty bad for me. I gotta remove one guy here. It goes here. Oh, and everybody else obviously does so too. So now we can remove maybe someone here. Place him here. This guy, well, we're gonna take away one here who goes onto the crown. And green, tough call. Well, I don't know. I mean, he might remove maybe this guy here. Okay, everybody gotten away with it. Black is in a questionable position here because one more chaos and he'll suffer a revolution. But in the end, it wouldn't matter that much for him, I guess. Okay, all the ideas, but only the ones with no elders. So that means basically, and by the way, we should have had a new idea here. So only 4 of the ideas are actually now renewed with ideas from Epoch 4. And then the victory points, now pretty much everyone gets victory points except for Black himself. We just have to check a little bit. I want to do a recount here. Black, now everybody should lose 1 point, I guess, because of the chaos. So that's 3 for orange. It's 2 for white. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for green. So that is correct. And by the way, also the foundations that are not in your ruling class do count. So in this case he has 3 points here, although his ruling class is cultural. And that gives him now at the end 2 victory points. You know, I'm really thinking if it would not be a more interesting scoring system if, for example, at the end of the game there would be another scoring in the different, you know, in mysticism, urbanization and diversity, but you would not count the absolute numbers. So that at the end of the game then there would be, let's say, a diversity of 6 versus 4, if the thing would remain like that, instead of what we have now, that would be 9 versus 5, right? That would give at least players the options to, I don't know, to somehow make up for this in a technological way. I have a feeling once you know, I'm really frustrated because green managed to run away with the game so easily. That is something that really pisses me off, to be honest. Because I really had high hopes on this game, but every time when I play it, every time, there's always a runaway leader. And that is... You know, I played now 5 times, and I think the game is not... That's a flaw of the game, to be honest about that. But okay, let's see. Yeah, the challenger can keep this card as a bellwether card now, and I'm going to renew the market. So it's black. He placed a couple of pawns over there. He migrated again north after his chaos destroyed this guy. He's again kind of isolated. He cannot negotiate, for example, right now. He could negotiate it with this city here in India, crossing the ocean here and then go there. But that doesn't really give him much advantage because orange is technologically new. I mean, maybe he would be interested in doing so, removing some chaos. You know what? I think I want to do that. I think I want to negotiate. That allows me to remove a chaos. And yellow can use this to catch up. So he's going to go ahead in the in the metallurgy track. And so that wasn't actually that bad. I could even do a second negotiate action, but I don't really think that's so helpful for me. Now I could build a city, and I could grab the ivory here, so I think that's also something I want to do. Go here, and I can advance in energy. That allows me to make another advancement for free, and I will jump ahead here, I guess, or here. Interesting question. Do I want to improve my information, or do I want to go here? That's also very tempting. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm at my maximum of ideas, so improving information is also an interesting option. Let me see how hard it is. You know, actually, no, I think I want to go ahead here. So, in technology, I'm really far advanced here. And there's a leap between this and this of 5 points. So that makes me, in this space here, makes me now a second player. That's kind of funny, right? But, but of course the others will be able to catch up with some negotiations, and that advantage is gone pretty soon. Now I can use missiles, which means that the war has now an unlimited range. Now the orange player, I think he wants to challenge the gods. He's in a pretty good position. He might on the cards here, so maybe he's going to be able to make a winning bid or something, depending on what he gets, of course. So yeah, he does that. He challenges the gods. And okay, so that is a cooling age. That's interesting. So we're going to have to draw a second card. We might actually come to an ice age here. We've done that for quite a while not. So let's find a card here. And look at that. We have indeed an ice age. However, actually we shouldn't have done that, simply because everything is already frozen that can freeze. So instead, we simply will flip, we will take a jungle and turn it into a desert. Now let's see which one is interesting for us. Maybe this one, maybe that one. I think I'm going to take simply this, and where do I want to place it? Well, probably here. Or maybe down there. That might be also an interesting choice. I think actually I want to destroy, kill the wombats down there. Okay. Then we have the Tambora eruption. Okay, let's see what that is. I think this is, yeah, that's this one here. So that means this city is also destroyed. But there will be a refugee here. So we're going to place this guy here. No, is that true? I don't think so, actually. I think if there's a catastrophe, there is also no refugee. And yeah, then I can, oh damn, I cannot bid on this one. I could and risk a revolution. And, you know, I might actually want to do that. You know, I'm not in a very good position, so I think I want to bid on these things, and I will accept a revolution. So, I have to bid, to make sure that I win this, I have to bid 3 pawns. And that, yeah, that makes me the winner. So these 3 pawns go away. And now we see a revolution, and I can choose which side. And because I already have 3 political ideas here, I want to make that a political revolution. So I get another foundation, which brings me up 1 space. I have to kill a dissident, which destroys a city, which is obviously a bad thing. So I don't know, I mean, we can destroy this one here. But this time there will be a refugee here. So there we go. And now I can take all these ideas with me, just have to reorient them. So this remains the lowest one. God. And then it's this. Yeah. And then this one here. And I think this is actually not too bad for me. My main problem is I'm behind here. Maybe I find someone who is willing to negotiate with me so that we can fight together then in an act of war, the green guy. But I don't know about that. Maybe that's not going to happen. And my new ruling class is here. Okay. So then I'm allowed to continue down here my actions. You know what I just realized? I cannot do that. I have to undo all this. There's a requirement of 4 here in footstep, which I don't have. Bad luck for me. So in the end, the card goes to black. They did bid 3. They had to if they didn't want to give it to the green player, which they definitely didn't. So that means they receive now the card. And I just made the same mistake. Shit. I cannot, I mean, I could bid on the card, by the way, and then simply discard it. You know what? I think that's actually what I'm going to do as the yellow player. So black is still sitting here. The yellow player bids on that card. I'm not even sure if he can. I think he can, but I gotta check that. So yeah, actually, yellow can do it. Yellow bids on this card. He gets it. But he might consider only bidding 2 pawns. I think that makes sense. So I will bid 2 pawns just to make sure that I outbid green. And if black really wants that card, they can have it. So the question is, do they want to bid 3 pawns to get the card? Or do they prefer... I don't know. It's a tough call. Well, they cannot get the card. We figured that out before. I'm already forgetting about the requirement. So obviously they don't want to take it. So that means now that orange receives the card. He can do the Eureka effect, which is again this propaganda thing that would allow him to change this here, the philosophy. But I think as long as these guys are so far ahead in cities and have that enslavement option, nobody's really willing to do that, except for them, of course. So I think this card is simply discarded. So while other people are already flying to space. I managed to invent the trireme galley, or trireme, I don't know how to spell that in English. And first developed as a merchant ship, then a warship, these were powered by 3 tiers of rowers. They seldom ventured out of sight of land due to vulnerability to storms and need for frequent resupply of fresh water. So, we get a Eureka here. That brings me to galleys now. Finally. I got to cull a 1 technology, which I don't have. I got a requirement. I have a city. So I can take this card as an idea. And let me spread again. I think I want to move here, for example. Let's see what we can do here. We can maybe... Yeah, I think we can build a couple of cities now. So first I have this. That allows me to do a domestication or a cultivation action. I don't know, I think I'm gonna do a cultivation action down here. Take the peanut. So, oops, this can goes back in here, and yeah, I'm gonna grab the peanut here. And, well, as a next action, I can increase my vaccination. I'm gonna do that, so this goes up 1 space. Does that make sense? Well, hard to tell. I might also do the artisan action. I think I want to do that. Maybe I can get a... Maybe I can get a Eureka here, but that is also questionable. No, I think that's fine. I'm going to go here. And as a last action, I can do a negotiation. I think I want to negotiate with white, and I want to bring this 1 space ahead, so I'm now also at aluminium and plastics. And white, what can they do? Well, at least they can decrease their chaos. Okay. So white starts here with a spread action. They want to build the city here in the desert. So they're gonna first they want to spread here. Now they can do some invention. Are they interested in grabbing this, for example, here, the soldiering? Let me see. They cannot have another idea. If they get rid of an idea, the cultivate action, for example, there's not too many spaces where that would be possible right now. So maybe here I get another prospect action. You know, I think I might want to do that. I think... It would increase me, it would help me to increase my energy. But does it really do me that much good? Let's see what else is out there. You know, I think I simply want to do that. I'm simply going to take the soldiering here. On the other hand, I could also consider maybe bringing a couple of more guys into the game, and maybe then I have the option to yeah, it's a tough call. Maybe I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring a couple of guys into the game, and maybe I can then... That's not easy at all. What is that? I think that's uranium. Holy moly. I might consider going here. We'll see. And maybe somewhere else. And then maybe in the next turn I can place a couple of bits or something. So I don't know, I might go on this maybe. Okay, nice. So yeah, if someone challenges the gods, at least I now have a lot of pawns out there. Maybe that's helpful to me. Well, as a next action, we can migrate again. Let me see where I want to go. I can prospect twice or cultivate. I could also go here. You know what? I think I want to do that. I think I'm going to go here. Yeah, why not? And now I can do that's a cultivate action, which I cannot do. I cannot do this either, but I could negotiate, and I think I want to do that. Do I? Maybe not. Well, I could negotiate with black or with green. And I think I want to negotiate with green because they gain not a lot out of it. Or maybe with black. You know, I think I prefer to negotiate with black. So that will then allow me to get ahead here by 1. And black can, well, what do they want to do? You know, I think they want to increase their footprint. Okay, sweet. That was the trade action. And then I can prospect. So, yeah, the idea was to... wait a minute. I wanted to cultivate, didn't I? So, yeah, I will grab the seal here with my cultivate action. I missed that. So we're going to place this one here. And then I'm going to do a prospect action here. And I'm going to grab oil. And you know, got a couple of cities now. 5 already. Green is at 8. I mean, they're going to bring it to 10 probably, but it's interesting to see. I mean, maybe there still is a chance. Maybe we might consider doing, you know, moving this so that the diversity isn't counted, but it's going to be very hard to, I don't know, it's going to be hard. We'll see. I don't think that green can be stopped anymore. And it is green, and they're going to challenge the gods. So there we go. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh boy. Now that's something that green didn't want. Okay, let's see. The first thing we see is we have a forestation. So that means desert becomes forest, and well, I think this one goes back, definitely. And let's find a city in the forest that we can destroy. Well, there is one here. But the thing is now, this rightist dictator, that is a huge problem for green. But that's what can happen if you challenge the gods. Just wanna check it out here, because that's a little more advanced stuff. Okay, so this card is not auctioned, but the player with the most mysticism will automatically get this card. And there's a tie, so the challenger is checked first and then we go clockwise. And that means that he will get the card, right? Because there's a tie with the orange player, but he's the one who will get the card. Now, problem is that this is a voodoo king, right? Okay, great. So that was not quite what he expected. Sorcery and folk magic can be exploited to create a reign of terror. Even modern tyrants have used voodoo to create personality cults and death squads. Okay, what happens now? Well, I think there will be a revolution. Let's see how that works. Well, actually, he's super lucky. Because if that column, if that would have been an industrial card, so if that would have matched here, then all the other foundations in that column would have been destroyed, and only this would have left. That would have probably cost him the game. But in this situation, he has to keep the card, but he can, and there will be a revolution, which isn't great for him either, but he can at least choose where this goes. He will lose some ideas, and it's not over. I mean, that is definitely a problem for him now, but there might still be a chance for him now to somehow there is a good chance for him to win the game, which otherwise would have been very problematic if he would have lost all his ideas. I mean, he could have tried it. He's still good in culture, so even if diversity would have gone down, he might have probably won anyway. Okay, anyways, let's see. First, there is a Eureka. So that means he has to bring this guy in here. Okay, great. And now he can choose. He can choose if he wants to be a cultural or a political society. And I'm not so sure. I'm tending towards cultural, because he's got two ideas of that. But first I gotta check the ideas. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do that. We're gonna go for a cultural. I think I have to. No, I think this is right. Was it that way? No, I think it was that way. Okay, so that means all these remain. This is now a new society with a new ruling class. I've lost my crown. Where is the crown? Where is the crown? That is odd. Ah, there it is. Okay. We had one dissident that has to be quelled, so we're gonna one elder or city is destroyed, and I think I definitely prefer to destroy an elder, so this guy goes away. And this is it, right? I get an additional diversity because I got one more of these icons now. And probably an additional one because the crown is now free again. So yeah, I got a diversity now of 6. But that could have gone the other way around. I could have ended up with a diversity of 1 basically. So therefore, I was super lucky there that this was a card that did not contain a political orientation or an industrial orientation. I'm going to place a guy here in the volcanization, hoping to get the Eureka there. And then I will do an art action. I think I need maybe another elder here or something. Okay, great. I could now domesticate, and I will. There is the Bactrian camel here, so we will domesticate that one. And yeah, I guess then I can no, my footprint is already at 6. Actually, I could have done that only with cultivation. I have another artisan action, so I can bring this guy maybe here actually, so that will give me also a Eureka action. Okay, so I think, or a Eureka bonus. So I think I'm done here. I'm pretty sure we can finish this in the next turn. There's just one more epoch card there, and then in the end is the comet. And it still looks very good for green, although it could have gone wrong, which is interesting. Yeah, hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye. There's a guy here in the volcanization, hoping to get the Eureka there. And then I will do an art action. I think I need maybe another elder here or something. Okay, great. I could now domesticate, and I will. There is the Bactrian camel here, so we will domesticate that one. And yeah, I guess then I can no, my footprint is already at 6. Actually, I could have done that only with cultivation. I have another artisan action, so I can bring this guy maybe here actually, so that will give me also a Eureka action. Okay, so I think, or a Eureka bonus. So I think I'm done here. I'm pretty sure we can finish this in the next turn. There's just one more epoch card there, and then in the end is the comet. And it still looks very good for green, although it could have gone wrong, which is interesting. Yeah, hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.